Good morning, my children, and welcome to your English class, the class of the teacher Jacob. Now, before we start with today's topic, my children, let's go back to yesterday's video because it's very important to have reviews constantly. Now, yesterday we saw animals of the zoo. First of all, the word zoo, what is it? Zoológico, very good. Now remember, in a zoo, the zoo, it's a place that we can visit, okay, and see and watch and observe animals that are either big or dangerous, okay? And some of the most common animals that are in the zoo are, of course, the elephant, which is a big animal with a huge trunk that uses to breathe and also to drink water. Okay, recuerden que la trompa de un elefante la utilizan para respirar y para absorber agua, porque a veces, pues como todos nosotros, tienen sed. Otro animal, another animal was the giraffe. Characteristics of the giraffe is their long neck, su cuello largo, okay? Their long neck and the color. Remember, all of the giraffes have two colors. The most predominant is, of course, the color yellow and spots, manchas, spots around their body, alrededor de todo su cuerpo, color black, okay? That's the giraffe. Another animal that we saw was the lion. Okay, now remember, in the case of the lion and of course the tiger, I'm going to talk about the two, the lion and the tiger. Those two are not big animals like the giraffe, but they are considered dangerous animals. So in order to watch an animal of this kind, it's necessary to go to the zoo because they keep them there. Okay? Como son animales peligrosos, el tigre y el león, pues para nosotros el poderlos admirar, el poderlos ver, para poder observarlos, tenemos que ir a un zoológico, okay? Because that's the place where they keep dangerous animals, okay? Ahí es donde tienen a los animales más peligrosos. Remember, the tiger and the lion, they eat meat, comen carne, so it's very probable that if a lion sees us, es muy probable que si un día nos encontramos con un león, que nos pueda comer. So we have to be very careful. Now, another animal of the zoo was, of course, the snake. Now remember, the snake, it's an animal color green or color yellow that looks like the number 3. And of course, some of the snakes, or most of the snakes, are dangerous because they have poison inside of them, okay? La mayoría de las serpientes son consideradas peligrosas porque muchas de ellas tienen veneno dentro de ellas. So we have to be very careful also with the snakes. Another animal that you remember that is part of the zoo, my children. Otro que recuerden que hayamos visto. Let me see. Okay. Okay, very good. Tiger, we already mentioned the tiger. The monkey, yes, you remember. Now, also, something that was very important to mention is that the monkey is not big, is not neither a big animal, and is not dangerous. The problem here is that monkeys are very playful, son muy juguetones. So that's why in the zoo they have a special area just for the monkeys, okay? Como son muy juguetones, si los monos se salen del zoológico, pues pueden empezar a molestar a todos los animales. Por eso ellos tienen su propio espacio para ellos solitos en el zoológico. So that's why the monkeys are part of the zoo. Very good. The teacher is happy because you remember characteristics and the name of the animals that belong in that place. Now today, my children, we're going to continue with the review of the numbers because today we're going to see a new number, okay? But before we get into that, let's have once again our review of each one of the numbers. Now remember, all of them have their own shape and form. Recuerden que cada uno de los números que hemos estado trabajando tienen su propia forma. De esa manera nosotros lo podemos identificar mucho más rápido, okay? Let's begin. Do you remember, what about the number 1? The number 1 looks and has the shape and form of a, ¿de qué tenía la forma number 1? Of a cat? No, no, a cat, no. Of a soldier. Remember, it's well stand and it's saluting. That's the number 1. What about the number 2? What's the shape and form of number 2? The dog. Very good. Remember, the dog, it's an animal of the farm and make noises like whack whack. Now, remember, this is the shape and form of the number 2. Number 1, the soldier saluting. After the number 2, remember, it's very appropriate that we are talking about this because it's related to an animal of the zoo. Es muy curioso que ahorita estemos hablando del número 3 porque fue parte del repaso de animales del zoológico. The shape and form of the number 3, remember, the snake. Okay, here in color blue. What about the number 4? What do you remember about the number 4? Okay, remember an object that we use to sit down. In this case, it's called the chair, but it's not a normal and regular chair. The chair that we have to expose here is upside down. Recuerden que no es cualquier silla. La silla que estamos relacionando con el número 4 es una silla al revés. The chair upside down. And finally, the number of today, the number 5. Now, characteristics of the number 5, it's basically the number that likes to eat. Eat pizzas, hamburgers, hot dogs, candies, chocolates, cupcakes, what else? Spaghetti, all of that tasty food. The number 5 eats it. So that's why it has a big stomach, just like the teacher Jacob, because I also like hamburgers, hot dogs, pizzas. So that's why I have a huge belly, una panza enorme. Now, the number 5 eats a lot, so as you can see, it has a big stomach. Como le gusta comer, pues tiene una panzota. Okay, that's the number 5. And in this occasion, it's painted in color brown. Okay, very good. Now, on your printed activity of today, my children, you have the number 5. For this, you have to trace it with the pencil. And next to, we have an animal, once again, an animal of the zoo that I didn't explain it yesterday because it was for today. It's the kangaroo, okay? En su actividad impresa del día de hoy, chicos, tienen el número 5, que como saben, hemos estado trabajando, lo tenemos que remarcar. Mientras remarcamos, es importante que digan el nombre del número para que de esta forma quede en la cabecita y no se nos olvide. Ahora, al lado del número 5 tenemos un animal del zoológico que ayer no lo vimos porque es parte de la actividad del día de hoy. Ese animal es el canguro. Now, characteristics of the kangaroo, it's an animal that loves to jump. It's always jumping constantly. Kangaroos, they don't walk, no caminan. They jump constantly, okay? And most of the kangaroos, they carry a baby kangaroo inside of them. La mayoría de los canguros cargan un bebé dentro de ellos, por eso se les forma la pancita. So that's why I included on the number 5. Por eso lo puse en el número 5, porque también tienen su pancita. Now, before we go, my children, let's review one more time all of the numbers from number 1 to number 5. Remember, with all of your energy, vamos a repasarlo con todas esas ganas, bien fuerte, para que los pueda escuchar y escuchar su pronunciación. So let's begin. Number 1. Okay. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. And finally, the number that likes to eat, number 5. Very good. So that's it for today, my children. I hope that you have a wonderful time with your parents. Remember, good behavior. Recuérdense portarse bien con sus papás, siempre escucharlos, siempre obedecerlos, with no problem, sin que causen problemas, okay? Take care, have an excellent day, goodbye.